All right, everyone, welcome back to LA class, and we are going to continue on with our reading in the Odyssey. We are in part one, section two. We'll call it 2B. This is the second part of the adventure between Odysseus and the Cyclops. But before we get to our reading, wanted to do a quick little look here at our Odyssey character list and talk a little bit about a couple characters here. One of them, Odysseus, which I'm sure you've already filled out to some degree. But I thought we could talk a little bit about some of the other aspects of Odysseus um, that are important here. Maybe his willingness to put his own men at risk, to kind of satiate his curiosity or to get what he wants. Not that he's willing to just throw men away, but there is the feeling that he believes that he's able to outwit or to conquer any situation, and sort of puts his men at risk when he doesn't need to, such as from the Cyclops section where he could have simply just stolen the food, water from the Cyclops and left, but he doesn't because he simply wants to see him. So something that you could put in Odysseus' section also for Polyphemus, our giant Cyclops. One eye, very large, lives alone in a cave, is, we would probably call him barbaric, right? Willingness to eat men. Doesn't seem to live by any rules or regulations. Lives alone. So lots of things you can put with Polyphemus as well. Also a sort of a confidence shared by Odysseus, where Polyphemus, because he is so strong and so much larger and more powerful, he doesn't seem to be afraid at all of Odysseus and his men. So he's sort of underestimating them, which is going to be a problem for Polyphemus here in a little bit. Okay, so after updating your character list here, let's go ahead and jump back to our story, and we're picking up here. What page are we on? Page 960. About halfway through, we're going to pick up the next day. Remember, Odysseus and his men are trapped inside with the Cyclops via a large stone that only the Cyclops can move. So they're trapped in his cave. Okay, going on. When the young dawn, with fingertips of rose, lit up the world, the Cyclops built a fire and milked his handsome ewes. All in due order, putting the sucklings to the mother, then his chores being all dispatched, he caught another brace of men to make his breakfast, and whisked away his great door slab, and let his sheep go through. But he, behind, reset the stone, as one would cap a quiver. There was a din of whistling as the Cyclops rounded his flock to higher ground, then stillness. And now I pondered how to hurt him most, if but Athena granted what I prayed for. And here are the means I thought would serve my turn. So they need to find a way to defeat the Cyclops, but get out of the cave at the same time. That's essentially the problem here they need to figure out. By the way, when he says he caught another brace of men to make his breakfast, he ate some more people. Right? A brace means two, so he ate two more men. Okay, so this is what he needs. A club or staff lay there along the fold, an olive tree, felled green and left to season for Cyclops' hand. And it was like a mast, a lugger of 20 oars, bored in the beam, a deep sea-going craft might carry. So long, so big round it seemed. Now I chopped out a 6-foot wood section of this pole and set it down before my men who scraped it. And when they had it smooth, I hewed again to make it with pointed end. I held this in the fire's heart and turned it, toughening it, then hid it well back in the cavern. So he and his men take a mast, and then out of that mast cut a 6-foot long pole, and then sharpen the pole, and then what they call harden it, which means burn the tip of it, to make it very, very hard, which you can do with fire and some types of wood. Okay, well back in the cavern, they hid it well back in the cavern under one of the dung piles in profusion there. Now came the time to toss for it. Who ventured along with it? Whose hand could bear to thrust and grind that spike in the Cyclops' eye? When mild sleep has mastered him, as luck would have it, the men I would have chosen won the toss. 4 strong men, and I made 5 as captain. So they essentially drew straws for who's going to take this giant spear and shove it into the eye of the Cyclops as he sleeps. And Odysseus is going to help him. So 5 men are going to do this together. Okay, going on, line 285. At evening came the shepherd with his flock, his woolly flock. The rams as well this time entered the cave by some shepherding whim, or a god's bidding. None were left outside. He hefted his great boulder into place and sat him down to milk the bleeding ewes in proper order, put the lambs to suck, and swiftly through all his evening chores. Then he caught 2 more men and feasted on them. My moment was at hand, and I went forward holding an ivory bowl of my dark drink, looking up and saying, Cyclops, try some wine. Here's liquor to wash down your scraps of men. Taste it and see the kind of drink we carry under our planks. I meant it for an offering if you would help us home, but you are mad, unbearable, a bloody monster. After this, will any other traveler come to see you? He seized and drained the bowl, and it went down so fiery and smooth he called for more. Now remember, this is the liquor that they had brought in from the beginning. So this is stuff that's meant to be drank with 1 cup of water mixed with 1 cup of liquor mixed with 20 cups of water, and they're just feeding it to him, or Odysseus is. All right, going on. Give me another, thank you kindly. Tell me, how are you called? I'll make a gift will please you. Even Cyclops know the wine grapes grow out of grassland and loam in heaven's rain. But here's a bit of nectar and ambrosia. Ambrosia is the drink of the gods. 3 bowls I brought him, and he poured them down. I saw the fuddle and flush come over him. Then I sang out in cordial tunes. This right here means he's beginning to be intoxicated, fuddle and flush. Cyclops, you ask my honorable name. Remember the gift you promised me, and I shall tell you. My name is Nobody. Mother, father, and friends, everyone calls me Nobody. And he said, Nobody, my meat then. After I eat his friends, others come first. There's a noble gift now. Even as he spoke, he reeled and tumbled backward, his great head lolling to one side, and sleep took him like any creature. Drunk, hiccuping, he dribbled streams of liquor and bits of men. Not a pleasing thought there at the end. But he is now intoxicated and passed out. So they can put to work their plan. Okay, going on. Now, by the gods, I drove my big handspike deep in the embers, charring it again, and cheered my men along with battle talk to keep their courage up. No quitting now. The pike of olive green, though it had been, reddened and glowed as if about to catch. I drew it from the coals, and my 4 fellows gave me a hand, lugging it near the Cyclops. As more than natural force nerved them, straight forward they sprinted, lifted it, and rammed it deep in the crater's eye, and leaned on it, turning it as a shipwright turns a drill, in planking, having men below to swing the 2-handled strap that spins it in the groove. So with our brand we bored that great eye socket, while blood ran out. The red-hot bar, eyelid and lash were seared. The pierced ball hissed, broiling, and the roots popped. Oh, what a horrible thought there, as the stake is driven into the eye of the Cyclops. In a smithy, one sees a white-hot axe head or an adze plunged and wrung in a cold tub, screeching steam, the way they make soft iron hale and hard. Just so that eyeball hissed around the spike. The Cyclops bellowed, and the rock roared around him, and we fell back in fear. Clawing his face, he tugged the bloody spike out of his eye, threw it away, and his hands went groping. Then he set up a howl for Cyclopses, who lived in caves on windy peaks nearby. Some heard him, and they came by divers way to clump around the outside and call, What ails you, Polyphemus? Why do you cry so sore in the starry night? You will not let us sleep. So essentially, Polyphemus, once he rips that spike out of his eye, starts screaming for his other Cyclops. Remember, there are others that live around there, to come help him. And they come by and say, What's the matter? And now Odysseus' true brilliance here is going to come into play. Continuing on here on our next page. Sure, no man's driving off your flock. No man has tricked you, ruined you. Out of the cave, the mammoth Polyphemus roared in answer. Nobody. Nobody tricked me, nobody ruined me. To this rough shout they made a sage, a wise reply. Ah, well, if nobody has played you foul there in your lonely bed, we are of no use in pain given by great Zeus. Let it be your father, Poseidon, Lord, to whom you pray. Essentially, they're saying, he cried out, nobody tricked me, nobody did anything to me. If you remember, Odysseus had told Polyphemus his name was Nobody. He did this on purpose, knowing that Polyphemus would cry out, please help me. And he would have to say that nobody did this to me. And so the other Cyclops leave, thinking that Polyphemus is just being foolish here. Okay, that'll be the end of our section here today. We'll finish up with our Cyclops section when I get back to you guys. Have a great day.